I was thinking this week earlier, I was thinking about how we romanticize the story of Christ coming to earth. How it's so romanticized. And anyone that's been in what they call Sunday school, I don't know if we even still have that anymore, but growing up, I went to something they call Sunday school. It was really interesting going to Sunday school because they had stories about Jesus, and one of my favorite times was when they told stories about Jesus and his birth. Well, one of the reasons, if I'm honest, is because they gave gifts, and so I loved hearing about it. But the more I began to read and understand the story, I really recall what Bishop said moments ago about how God will always put you in a mess. The reality is that Jesus showed up to earth in a mess. If you really think about it, I mean, just come with me. I know that you've heard this story 1,000 times, so I want to make it practical, and I'm done. If you really think about him coming to earth, it was messy. Think about going to a hotel and them telling you that there's nowhere to stay in this hotel, but we have a barn outside with horses, sheep, lambs, and goats, and you're free to stay back there. It was a messy situation. And the more I think about that, and the more I read the Bible, I come to find out that Jesus spent his entire life dealing with mess. As a matter of fact, I believe that you don't have Jesus until you're really in a mess. I believe, it's my belief that you really can't say you experienced the totality of who Jesus is until you really got in a mess in your life. I'm reminded when Jesus showed up to Lazarus' funeral, and they're all crying, and they're like, why you showed up? He's stinking. It was a messy situation. I remember the woman with the issue of blood when she pressed her way to Jesus, that she was bleeding, the Bible says, profusely. It was a messy situation. What about the man that they lowered down into the house where Jesus was there and they cracked the roof? It was a messy situation. And this morning, can I tell you that if you find yourself in a messy situation, miracles happen there. That if you find yourself in a situation where you don't know whether to turn left or right, Jesus is right there. And let me encourage you this season. I don't care if you have no gifts on the tree. It's about who hung on the tree. Without walls, can I tell you that God is found in messy situations? Why y'all shouting like I'm preaching? Sit down. Sit down. I'm not preaching, it's bishop time. Jesus comes up in messy situations. And I want to encourage you this morning.